What's up, you? For today's video, with a full rarest and hardest shiny Pokemon in Scarlet and Violet. I'll be catching the 6 rarest shiny Pokemon and hardest Pokemon to get in Scarlet and Violet that are Gen 9 Pokemon. Now, what do you think is the rarest or the hardest Pokemon to get shiny in Scarlet and Violet? You can include Pokemon that aren't Gen 9 Pokemon, but for the purpose of this video, I'm just going to be using the Gen 9 Pokemon. I'm going to give you one that's very difficult, which is Tynamo. That's very, very small and hard to find. But is there any other ones you think are in this team or could be in this team that obviously aren't Gen 9 Pokemon? Or maybe I've missed one as Gen 9? Leave below in the comment section of the video and let's get into it. First battle here, this one is on the Poke Portal. I'm not really sure my opponent's name there. Maybe someone can translate that for me. We have got a Veluza. Now, Veluza is obviously not a really hard Pokemon to find shiny, but it's annoying because it actually has Final Gambit. So say you find it and it uses Final Gambit, it'll faint itself. So there's lots of loads of salt there. So Meowscarter is going to slip in and it's going to get wrecked there. So we got 2 Pokemon, a double KO with the Final Gambit. So not a bad start. In comes Amoonguss again. It's very, very sus. Next Pokemon is going to be Morsol. Now, this Morsol, of course, is a 1 in 100 chance to get the family of 3. So this is on the scale of really, really grind and hard Pokemon to get, I guess. So definitely a part of this team I guess it falls under rare and difficult at the same time. But maybe it's more, I don't know, I guess it's more tedious. I would say more than rare, but I'm not sure. Anyway, we got this Among Us. I've got this Technician Echoed voice set. So what I'm doing here is I'm actually exponentially building my base power with Echoed voice. I've actually used this set a couple of times in the past and had some really nice success with it. The thing about it is it does take a little while to build up the Echoed voice, and you've got some Pokemon that come in and sponge the moves really easy, like Garganacl. So this one is a Technician Metronome set. We got Ability Technician, Item Metronome, Mudshot, Echoed voice, Water Pulse, and Substitute. So Water Pulse has some really, really good damage there, but the Garganacl is going to have weakness policy. So it's a disaster already. Now, if you weren't a part, the start of the video, if you weren't listening then, or you want to hear this again, what would you think is the hardest and rarest shiny Pokemon to get in Gen 9? I really like to see people's comments in the comment section of the video, just in case you skipped that little first bit then. All right, we're going to go for another Water Pulse there, and that is the end of Garganacl. I managed to live the Salt Cure, which is pretty salty for the opponent. Also, if you want to support the channel, people, make sure you do hit that like button there. It really helps out, spreads that salt around there. Next Pokemon is Hippowdon. It's got the Sandstream. Now, they're going to do a double swap here and go out of the Hippowdon into Amoonguss again. So I went for Water Pulse, so I guess they just did that to avoid any damage on the Hippowdon. So not a bad play there. And now the funny thing is, I actually got a confusion with my Water Pulse. Now, I've also noticed one thing here too. The Amoonguss doesn't have regenerators. So is that like a effect spore set, which is rather interesting. So they got the Black Sun's Recovery, and I'm going to take me out with the Salt Cure on 1 health. Very appropriate. So that's the end of the Morsol. Now that's 2 Pokemon down. I still got 4 left. The next Pokemon, of course, is going to be Sandy Shocks. Now, this Pokemon I chose as a difficult shiny to get, not because of how rare it is, but because how difficult it is to see with the lighting in Area 0. When you know, right? That bright lighting coming down on that golden shiny can be very, very difficult to see. So we've got this physical set, and it is follows. Earthquake, Wild Charge, Facade, Protect. We've got the item as Toxic Orb, and I've got Max Attack and Max Speed, Adamnation. So this physical set actually took quite a few people off guard, and it was pretty powerful with Facade too. So we got this Amoonguss Snappy out of collision, and I went for Spore. So obviously expecting me to swap into another Pokemon, but I just stayed in there, which is going to be very handy because now I'm going to be able to take it out with virtually any move, Earthquake or Facade. However, they're going to swap the Amoonguss out now, and the next Pokemon to come back in here is going to be the Hippowdon. I was like, all right, I wonder why they swapped out that positioning. Let's see what they're going to do here. Facade does nothing. I was like, okay, they've got the Rocky Helmet. So Rocky Helmet damage is going to do lots of damage for you, plus the poison, and of course, extra damage for them, I guess. So now we're going to go for Earthquake. They're going to go for Earthquake and take me out the ground move. I didn't really feel there was too much need to swap out there because it sort of did its role already. Put Amoonguss on a lot bit of help, and Hippowdon too. Next Pokemon is going to be Tatsugiri, and of course, I called it Memento. Now, Possibly could have used the wrong shiny for this video, but since it actually falls under the category of being hard to find and annoying too. So just pretending this is a Tatsugiri that's, not the droopy one. The other two there, the curly and stuff like that, when you find them, they're actually very, very similar in appearances to the shiny, plus they have memento too. So that sort of falls under the hard and, difficult to find, of course, or difficult to see, and like a troll as well. Sort of like Veluza with Final Gambit. So we're going to swap the Tatsugiri out there. More on that set a little bit later, and out comes a Dragonite. So that Tatsugiri set, why Dragonite is going for a Terra Normal. Wow, it's super surprising. And this set is a Memento Counter, Mirror Coat, Muddy Water set, Storm Drainer's ability, Focus Sash as the item, max special attack and max speed. So quite a fun set. So we've got the Dragonite Terra Normal go for extreme speed here, and of course the reason we've got Taurus here, it's very, very difficult to see with its shade of shiny color there. Very, they all look very similar, especially when there's a herd of them too, and then running around, and it's quite difficult. So I went for an attacking move there, and Dragonite went for a Roost. Now this is a interesting set. So this Taurus is a Staffberry Kudchu set. I've got Substitute, Hydro Pump, it's a special set. Actually, no, it's a mix set. So we got a Terra Blast and Reversal. So what I'm trying to aim here for is to get a special attack boost with the Staffberry, and then Kudchu activates again if I'm still alive and try and get another boost. But a lot of the time with Staffberry, you get like a lot of stats you don't want. So with Kudchu, it actually gives you another roll of the dice. And, say if I got an attack boost, well, Reversal would be at very, very high base power, and +2 would sort of make up for those no EVs in attack. And I'm running this one as max special attack and max speed, naive nature. Now, the next Pokemon to come in is going to be the Hippowdon, and of course, they swapped back in with the Rocky Helmet and took out my my Taurus behind the substitute. So, like, all right, something has to happen here. I'm going to go into the Dunsparce. Of course, this Pokemon had to be on the team. So the 3-segment Dunsparce, of course, is a 1 in 100 chance, alike the Morsoul. So this absolutely had to be on this team. So we got a special set here. So we got Assault Vest as the item, Serene Grace as the ability. This is my Pipnite special to Dunsparce. It works very nicely. You have to get lucky though. So we got max health and max attack, bold nature, ancient power, ice beam, hex, flamethrower, and I've got the Terra type as Ghost. So I knew that Dragonite would probably be encouraged to come back into this matchup. So I thought, I'm going to go for Terra Ghost here. Now, the idea is to get a Flamethrower Burn or an Ice Beam Freeze, and then you can go for a double base power Hex. Now, you can also use Ancient Power to try and boost your stats with Serene Grace. It's a 20% chance to boost or get the Omni boost instead of 10. So it's not great, but it's not like impossible to get. So Dragonite's going to go for its attacking move. It's going to do nothing. We're going to get hit by the Sandstorm. Now, this was quite interesting. Dragonite went for an Earthquake, and they are doing no damage at all. So my bulky set is really, really working. So I went for a Freeze Axe here on the Dragonite. It did no damage at all. However, I'm pretty confident that I might be able to do some pretty good damage here and maybe bring back in my Tatsugiri later on. Last Pokemon is Samurai. I'm like, I don't know what I can do to this. So I just fired off an Ice Beam and hope for the best there. And the Sandstorm is going to subside. The Samurai has got the Leftovers as the item too. That's another Pokemon Leftovers. So they're going to go for Night Slash. Now, I really actually was thinking to myself, how about I go for a Flamethrower and go for a Burn, and then I can go for a double damage Hex. That'll be really, really nice too. I just didn't have like a lot of offensive presence on this unless I had like an Ancient Power boost. So we got the Dragonite swapping back in here. Now I'm going to go for the Flamethrower. I was really, really hoping for a Burn on Dragonite. Of course, it's going to do like no damage at all. Now, watch this. The Dragonite eats a Citrus Berry. And at least I got rid of that, but it's annoying. Now they use Metronome. Watch this. And Dragonite used Metronome Extreme Speed. You wouldn't read about it. And only on Pipnite channel people, you're never, ever going to see these memes anywhere else. Mathematicians of the world watching this video, what are the chances of getting a Metronome Extreme Speed, then freezing Dragonite afterwards? There's got to be some astronomical calculation to calculate all those things. I reckon it's at least less than 1% chance. It has to be. Anyway, so the Samurai's got a Salty Swap in here. Dragonite is frozen at the moment. It's letting it go. And I'm continually going for maybe an Ice Beam till I get a second Freeze Axe on this. So now we've got some more leftover recovery. I've got Tatsugiri in the back. Now, I'm thinking to myself, well, the Dunsparcer's job, it's done. It did freeze the Dragonite, which is pretty cool. So now I'm going to actually hope the opponent goes for a physical attack. So hoping it goes for Night Slash again on Tatsugiri. Then I can go for a counter and hopefully take it out. So swapping in little Tatsugiri, it's my last hope here. The little sushi roll. It's going to go for a Night Slash on me. That does pretty good damage, but it's not enough. I went for the counter. It failed to take it out. However, Scummy Water is going to land, and that is the end of this Samurott. We've got one more Pokeball left, and that is a Dragonite that is frozen from the turn before. I can't believe that happened. That's such a crazy, momentous set. So I'm going to go for Scummy Water. I almost took it out. So close. Accuracy drop. Dragonite is going to be frozen solid. And all I got to do now is press the A button, win the battle, and they cancel right at the end. I'm like, come on. All you had to do was press the A button and let me get that win, but they cancelled. It was a salty cancel for sure. Let's get on to battle number 2. That was crazy. I mean, if this video doesn't get a like after Metronome, Extreme Speed on the Ghost, and a Freeze, I can't deliver any better content than that. Next battle, this one was on the Pokeball as well. I'm not really sure of my opponent's name here, and we've got another Hippowdon, so 2 Hippos. So I'm going to be going for a final Gambit here. I was hoping it would take it out, and it did. I was like, that's really, really good. So Hippowdon's a very, very good Pokemon. Extremely bulky, versatile. It can set up Stealth Rocks. It can stall. It's got a decent attack stat. You can phase. So I wanted to get rid of that. So swapping in now, we're going into my Area 0. So my Area 69. And we got the, I nearly said the Miss Magus, the Mimikyu coming in there. And then they did like a double swap and then went into Back's Caliber. I'm like, huh, okay. So I went for the Earthquake here and I got good damage. I was like, that's kind of nice, you know. I'm sort of curious by their, I guess they expected me to go for an electric type move. That's why they swapped it in. I'm going to go for a double Earthquake here, and that is enough to take out the Back's Caliber. I quite like how Sandy Cheeks uses Earthquake because it sort of like kicks with its right leg. It's kind of funny. Next Pokemon is Meowscarlet. I'm just going to go for Facade. I outspeed, which is pretty cool. And that's nice damage, but it's not enough to take it out. I perhaps could have gone for a Terra Normal there, but I thought it was sort of still early days to go for Terra. I might need it later on, you know, like the Dunsparce. So that is going to take me out there. We all know that crit mattered. And the next Pokemon I'm thinking about bringing in here. Oh, the Meowscarlet is also Life Orb too. So it's going to take some Life Orb and Sandstorm damage. So which going to do a fair bit. We're going to bring in the Morsalt. So let's go for Echoed Voice. This is like super easy. So in case they went for Sub, I went for, in case they went for Sucker Punch, I went for the Sub. They instead go in for the Knockoff. So they don't have Sucker Punch, they've got Knockoff instead. But I felt like that was still a good move to go for there, because the Meowscarlet is still going to take Life Orb damage and Sandstorm damage. So I'm going to be going for Echoed Voice here. We're going to see if we can actually build this Echoed Voice up. And, you know, maybe, you know, usually the third Echoed Voice, you're really starting to do some, quality damage. Now, the next Pokemon is Sylveon. This was a very interesting part of the battle. So, I went for Echoed Voice here, and the Sylveon's going to go for a Hyper Beam. It's Pixelate Hyper Beam. Yeah, I'm definitely not going to live that attack. That is a very powerful laser. So that is the end of the Mossile. So I was like, you know what? This is great. I can swap in my Taurus here, because I believe they probably won't have Hype Voice now they've used Hype Beam. So I'll be able to get around this Hydro Pump and my substitute strategy. So, you know, I might even be able to actually maybe get a Staff Berry here. So the Sylveon is going to continue to go for Hype Beam, which tells me their choice specs. I mean, you know, that's what I'm thinking at this stage. I could be wrong, though. I could be wrong about that. Maybe they're not, but a lot of the time they are. So, you know, I've seen the Hype Beam used, and maybe it could be Assault Vest too, but I'm thinking, nah, probably Hydro Pump will be even doing less. So I went for another substitute here against the Sylveon. Now, Sylveon is going to be using Hype Beam third time in a row. So I'm like, yep, they're definitely choice specs. So I've done half my health there. I need to go for another substitute to activate my Salak Berry. Not my Salak Berry, my Staff Berry. I don't want a speed stat, though, from that. So I've got my next sub up here. All I got to do is, you know, the next Hype Beam needs to land. Sylveon's recharging this turn, so I was like, you know what? I want to get that going, so I won't fake this. I'll just go for a Terra Blast to do a little bit of damage, because I want that Staff Berry to activate. So now the Sylveon is going to go for a Hyper Voice. I'm like, come on. There's no way. They had that hidden up their sleeve the entire matchup and trolled me right at the end. I can't believe that. So I got trolled hard. I was actually hoping to make them struggle with Hyper Beam Choice Spec, but it turned out they didn't have it. Like, it's unbelievable. That is the end of the Sylveon there. I still can't believe that. What a mega troll. Next Pokemon is Mimikyu. I'm going to go for the Scummy Water. I really need to break that sub. Now, I can't go for a counter because Mimikyu is a ghost type. I figured they'd probably go for, Sword Dance and Play Rough, and they went for the Play Rough. So, okay, fair enough. You know what? I may as well just go for Scummy Water here and get some damage on them. So now they're going to go for Shadow Sneak. I knew they would go for that. I know that I've got the Dunsparce in the back, but I didn't see too much, point actually swapping in there and risking any damage. Tatsugiri sort of did its role, getting rid of the Disguise. So I've got 2 Pokemon to get rid of here. Here comes a Play Rough. It's not doing too much, and now I'm going to see if I can build some Ancient Powers. I got nothing to lose here. I really am going to lose otherwise. And I got it first go. I'm like, that's brilliant. So with max health and max defense EVs, this Mimikyu is going to do nothing unless they start loading up the Sword Dancers. So I've got all those boosts now. Mimikyu's going to go for Play Rough again, so clearly they're just going to keep attacking me. I'm going to keep going for Ancient Power. I'm going to do some good damage to them now, so that's all right. Maybe 2 more. I got a back-to-back Omni boost there on the Ancient Power, which is very, very lucky getting 2 in a row. I have got them in. I've actually got the 2 in a row before without Serene Grace, but that was like really, really lucky. So now I'm going to go for another one, and now I'm outspeeding the Mimikyu thanks to the Ancient Power boost. It doesn't have anything there. So now we've got a Terra here. It's like, this is a really, really strange time to, unless they've got I don't know, Terra Steel, and it turned out to be Terra Bug. I'm like, what the heck? What, you can't do Shadow Sneak? What are you thinking here? I guess they were trying to go for, maybe Leech Life, but I outspent them anyway, so I don't think it really mattered. Or maybe they don't have any Terra on their last Pokemon, which is going to change anything. Last Pokemon is Dragonite. I'm like, another Dragonite. This turn I went for a Terra. I was like, well, they might try and use Extreme Speed here. I had this, actually, you know what I thought? I thought they'd save the Terra on their Dragonite, then go for Extreme Speed like in the last battle, but I don't know. I guess they just burn off their Terra. They didn't even have anything to do. So I'm going to be going for the Ice Beam here. Ice Beam does not take it out thanks to Multiscale. Dragonite is going to go for an Outrage here. And that's it. That's the end of the battle. The Dragonite is going to fail to take me out. And that is it, people. What a insane battle there. That Troll Sylveon and a weird Terra. But all in all, I don't think if the opponent went for a Terra Dragonite, it would have changed the battle at all. I would have definitely won that with all those, those insane boosts that I had. I'd say they would have needed like a crit, a mega crit to get around me. Let's get on to the third and final battle here. This one's on the Poké Portal as well. I have no idea what my opponent's name is here either. So maybe someone could do me a solid and translate all those names. That'd be awesome. All right, we got an Annihilate Blade here. Now, this is not a good matchup for Loser. I have to swap it out because I can't use Final Gambit, and all the other moves are not going to do much. I was kind of planning going for Zen Headbutt, but I thought, nah, I'll go into Taurus and see what happens. Now, you watch this. This is pretty interesting. So, the Annihilate is going to go for a Rage Fist. Now, I really don't want to land too many attacks against that. I want to actually go for a Substitute and hope for a Hydro Pump with the Staff Berry. Then I can maybe get close to one-shot here. Annihilate went for a Dig. I'm like, what is this set? A Rage Fist and Dig set? I don't know what the strategy is here. Anyway, so I'm thinking, well, I can't really do anything. I'm outspeeding. I guess I'll just keep setting the substitutes up and try and sub down to my Star Breed. Once again, I don't want to build the opposing Annihilate's Rage Fists at all. That'd be very, very scary. So I got a speed boost, of course, and I was hoping, well, maybe they'll go Dig again like they did last time, and they did. They went Dig again. So well, Kachu's going to get another round of activating. I hope this time I get something that's better than speed, because, I can already outspeed virtually their entire team. So I got a Dig damage there on the Substitute. I mean, Rage Fist Dig on your Pin Shadow, and the sub is going to fade. So now Kachu's going to activate, hoping for that big, bad special attack drop there on the Tauros. And it actually turns out I got another speed stat. Oh, man, luck was so bad to me. So I got the Hydro Pump, and now they're going to go for a Dig again. They didn't even go for Rage Fist. I don't know what they're doing, if they're trolling. I have no idea. If someone could come up with some sort of strategy why they're doing Dig and Rage Fist, I've got no clue. But anyway, I didn't think there was much point swapping out there, so I sacked off my Taurus. Now what I'm going to do is go into my Morsol, because I thought, you know what, I'll go for maybe a Water Pulse here. It might get a confusion, and it did all right damage, but nothing amazing. Now they're going to go for close combat. I'm like, what was going through their mind with Dig, Rage Fist, and in close combat? I've got no idea. So that's going to be the end of the Morsol. So things are looking really, really desperate. I have to get back into this game. So we're going to go into Sandy Cheeks here. I can go for Earthquake. They do have that close combat drop, and that is enough to turn Annihilate into a Ghost. Wait, it's already Ghost type. Never mind. So I've got my Toxicor buff flowing here. Next Pokemon is going to be wait, is he powered on it? Hang on. Is Hippowdon been in every single battle? I know the last one is. I feel like the first. I swear Hippowdon has been in every single battle so far. I could be wrong about that, but I think it is because yeah, it is. The Hippo has been in every single battle. Anyway, we're going to keep going for Fasati. It's doing actually pretty surprising damage there. Hippowdon, however, is going to be able to take me out with a Bulldoze. That toxic damage did not help in my favor. I'd say I would have been able to live that. Anyway, we're going to go into our next Pokemon, which is Dunsparce. Like, I might be able to get this, this ancient power going, but I don't really want a speed drop from Bulldoze. I'd rather just feint it in case it had slack off or something annoying like that. So that's the end of the Hippo, but I've got a long way to get back into this battle. Next Pokemon here is going to be Ditto. Oh, this is going to be cool. The only good thing here is Ditto has going to have less health than me, and I've got more bulk thanks to the ancient power. Now, Ditto didn't have a choice scarf, which is interesting. I wonder what item they've got. They're going to try and burn me with the flamethrower, and of course, on their very first flamethrower, they burn me. So that's kind of unfortunate there. So what I'm trying to do here, I'm thinking I might be able to get Ancient Power boost up here and try and reverse sweep the team like I did before. So now they're going to go for an Ice Beam. I mean, I guess the positive thing about that is they won't be able to freeze me. So I was thinking to myself, you know what's going to be better? I'm just going to freeze this Ditto because the Ditto might swap out here and come back into what? Imagine if it comes back into Veluza and has Final Gambit. That could be, very, very problematic. So I'm going to go for the Ancient Power here. I feel like I can definitely live the next attack, unless they, of course, crit me with Ice Beam, which they didn't. So that is going to be the end of the Ditto. I've got no idea what item they're running on it because we were both outspeeding each other. Like, I won a couple, but I think they run most of the speed ties there. Next Pokemon is going to be Great Tusk. No way I'm outspeeding that. They're going to go for Earthquake. That is the end of the Dunsparce. So I've got Tatsugiri here, so I can go for Muddy Water. The only thing I am a little bit concerned, it might have Focus Sash or I'll miss. Or it's some crazy tanky set, because you never know so far. There's been some like really, really random sets here I'd built. So I'm going to be going for the Terra Water Tatsugiri. Not something I normally do, but there's really no point going into Terra with Veluza, because it's got Final Gambit. I really don't like having Veluza left as the last Pokemon either. Like, because virtually if it's the last one left, you're going to lose. So I'm going to finish the Great Tusk off with it. It was great. I really don't think that crit mattered at all, especially with Terra Water. Tatsugiri's got some pretty good special attack. Next Pokemon is Goodra, which is bad, and I'm going to swap in my Veluza, hoping that they maybe go for like a status move, and then I can go for Final Gambit. To my dismay, they are going to be going for a big old Power Whip here, and that is going to land, and of course it does like loads of my health. So I'm like, you know what, I'm going to go for Zen Headbutt. Let's go for a flinch. Good damage there. However, no flinch, and Power Whip lands on the second go. I would have loved to miss there. I would have actually beaten Goodra. So now I'm down to Tatsugiri. Like, well, I doubt that I'm going to be able to feint this, So I've got to go for Scummy Water or the counter combination. So I went for the counter, and of course Power Whip misses on the first go. I could have got a free Muddy Water up, and then I just decided to go for the counter again. So counter this time is going to be enough to take out the Goodra. So bye-bye Goodra. The reason why I swapped it out, because I thought they may go, Power Whip could have easily missed on Veluza. Last Pokemon is the Fluttermate, and of course they're going to go for a Terra on this Pokemon. Like, well, it's either going to be Terra Ghost or it's going to be Terra Fairy. That's what it normally is. And yeah, it's going to be Terra Ghost. I'm like, all right, well, if I can get an attacking move off here, this should do a good amount of damage. I may even get actually drop. Scummy Water misses, and now Fluttermane is going to take me out the Shadow Ball. It's a salty finish, people, but it is what it is. Hope you enjoyed the rarest and hardest shiny Pokemon of Generation 9, Scarlet and Violet. I'll catch you later on for a stadium stream. Peace out, people.